Alrighty guys, what's up? Welcome back to another video. We're going to be diving more into some Black Ops 6 beta here, but first I do want to talk about some Rostermania. First, I do want to give an official shout out for this tracker. Is with shout outs to Benjay Nassim. He's been working really hard on this to make sure that all free agent stuff is keeping itself up to date. So there's a lot of information here to talk about. We're going to go ahead and we're going to talk about things, but first I actually want to pull up Twitter so that way you guys can see these tweets to know that it's not just Benjay being Benjay. Not that I expect Benjay to be that way, but so just pulling up this first thing here. Sib Dante, he played for Cloud9 on this last CDL season. He has been permitted to explore all of his options and is now going to be a restricted free agent for the upcoming 2025 season, which is pretty crazy. I thought Sib did pretty well in this last season, but he has obviously been told that he is going to be a restricted free agent. So what that means is that Sib has the ability to be able to explore his options. He's not completely off of Cloud9, but he's not completely he's not off of Cloud9, but he's also not like he has the ability. There's a potential that he might be re-signed with Cloud9. So let's see. Also, another one here. This one I'm not surprised about. Oops, wrong thing. This one I'm not too surprised about. Attached did give the announcement that he is now a restricted free agent, so he will not be being re-signed under the Vegas Falcons, which I'm not surprised because Falcons did announce a roster that they were going to be going with the side of they're all Saudi roster. That's here. They're signing Xnid, King of Body, Roxas, KHHK, or KHHX, and so that's where their rosters are going to be going. So, another thing too is Toronto Ultra. This is probably the biggest thing out of all of them. I don't remember exactly who tweeted it, so I'm not gonna. I think it was CDL Scrim Intel. That would sound accurate. Where is it? Yeah, here it is. Okay. So all of Toronto Ultra are considered restricted free agents. Now, the same thing did happen last year, so that's not like the biggest thing. But also, CDL Scrim Intel also put in that C9 will try to do everything they can to get scrap from Ultra, as well as Envoy has held talks with both LA Thieves and C9. Now, nothing has been confirmed for this. Envoy coming off of Toronto Ultra and going on to LA Thieves and or C9. So looking over Toronto Ultra, every single person is considered to be a restricted free agent. So they still have their contracts are available. They still have their contracts with Toronto Ultra, but they do have the ability to be able to look things over before they get into a new team. So they have the option to be able to extend a contract. They have an option to be able to look at a possible new contracts. So that basically now begs the question: is Toronto Ultra going to blow it up? There was a lot of talks about the possibility of Toronto Ultra potentially blowing up their roster, just because their roster, they had a really, really strong Major 1 performance, but then they went into Major 2 and they just did not perform where they needed to. Actually, the whole rest of the year, I think they definitely did not perform the way that they would want to. They struggled a lot, and it then ended up, I believe they finished top 6 at Champs. No, they might have finished top 4. Yeah, because FaZe was top 6 and the rest of the top 4 teams were top 4. It was because Toronto beat LA Thieves to go into losers finals. Toronto beat LA Thieves, lost to New York, and then it was New York against Optic and Grands. Yep, that's how that went. I knew that. So, once again, looking at these rosters, we have Atlanta FaZe. Nobody said anything. They're fully contracted. I don't expect FaZe to make a change. I don't expect Optic to make a change. Dashy is apparently an unclear status. Also, Ghosty, I'm just going to say it, was doing a little bit of impression farming. I don't think Dan Ghosty is going anywhere. However, we do have, obviously, Envoy rumored to be in talks with C9 and possibly LA Thieves. So there's a lot of possible thoughts here. And then there was a troll clip that was out of Scrap potentially talking to Minnesota. But I would be shocked if Scrap went to Minnesota. I don't think he would want to play with Lens. I don't think it makes no sense for Scrap to go to any team that's not another top 4 team. But I could see Scrap becoming Cloud9. I think honestly that would be the upgrade that Cloud9 would want to do if they don't want Sib. I think if they're gonna get anything, it's Scrap for Sib, and then from there I would love to see them possibly. I don't remember if Envoy was an SMG player or not. I'm pretty sure he was, but I'm terrible at remembering which players play which roles. The only ones that I remember, like Scraps and AR, Ghosties and AR, and then I remember like all of Optic, and I remember all of Cloud9, but I don't remember all of the rest. I'm pretty sure, yeah, I don't remember the rest. Like, I remember some specific players, but either way, all of that to say, there's a lot in the changes. I want to know what you guys are thinking. I personally think that it would be really, really smart if it would be really smart to see Scrap move over. Well, it would be smart for C9 if Scrap were to go to C9. That would be really smart if they were able to get that upgrade. However, I don't know if I see Toronto Ultra wanting to get rid of Scrap. Now, this isn't for sure. This isn't like a for sure thing that they are wanting to go that way. But I definitely think that there is a lot of opportunities that gosh, I don't know what I'm trying to say. I think there's a lot of opportunities for both of these teams to be able to find something, like to make some changes. I completely lost track of what I was saying. Now, the biggest teams, honestly, that I'm kind of really interested in wondering is Carolina, Boston, and Minnesota, because I think there are a lot of opportunities for some really, really good talent to be able to show up and play really well. Personally, I think that Cammy played really, really well at EWC. Granted, he spent most of his time in Challengers, but I think Cammy, I don't think he will be going back to Minnesota Rocker, but also at the same time, he was not. Boston decided not to hold on to him going into this next season. But I think if what would be really, really smart for Minnesota to do is to pick up Slasher and put Slasher in that Minnesota role, in that sort of like building, like they want to build around Linz, but I think they need some experience in order for their team to do well, especially because like Linz is good. He played really well in Major 1, but I think Linz was held back by his team. I will die on that hill. But I think Slasher is somebody where I think he would be honestly a good player to build around. I personally am on Team Slasher when it came to Boston. I think that Snoopy should have been the one to go, but clearly Boston is wanting to commit to the Snoopy bit, whatever that exactly looks like. That's what they're wanting to commit to, and if that's what they want to do, cool, good for them. I don't personally think it is a good move, but if that's the route that they want to go, then good for them, I guess. Yeah, they can just keep doing their thing, and they can, I don't know. Boston's weird. Boston is such a up in the air, and I've never really known how to feel. So, going to, I think right now, Rostermania is kind of in a stalemate stage. I don't think we're going to be seeing a lot of crazy moves happening, at least from this point on. because I think everybody is just going to kind of be impression farming. So take everything that you're seeing on Twitter with a grain of salt. That is my kind of biggest thing that I would say to all of you guys who are paying attention to these roster changes is take everything with a grain of salt. Don't anticipate any major moves happening until we get closer to the October-November stage of things, because the last thing anybody is going to want to do is going to leak things too early. I think the only exception to that is Vegas Falcons, but that's because they're wanting to make a statement with what they're doing. So that's my advice. Don't get too crazy. Don't get too invested into leaks on Twitter, because it's way too early in Rostermania to know for sure until teams officially announce. So yeah, that's what I got. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys so much for watching this video on YouTube. If you guys are watching this on stream, make sure you guys are following any of my streams. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, make sure you guys subscribe. I'm going to be continuing to bring you as much Rostermania content as I can. I'm currently still also working a regular 9-to-5 job, so Rostermania updates do come a little bit slower from my side of things, but I do also want to try and get you guys as much content as quickly as possible. So with that, thank you guys again for watching. Make sure you guys subscribe, leave a comment, all that good jazz. Also, actually, yeah, never mind. I'll make that a different video. Either way, thank you guys again for watching. I'll see you guys later.